Okay, what did I miss? I'm missing my... You know what? Let's just get into it, shall we? Actually, I need to post in Discord chat. Yeah. That. Pull it up. Hey Aubrey. I'm about to switch over to the game. I'm just sending everybody the messages so that as many people can hop in here as possible. I'll start here in about a minute. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm ready. Let's get into this. Okay, everyone, welcome back. This is Mr. Brain, your friendly neighborhood gaming dad, here with day 2 of Archipelago Raid. And we will get started with the simple stuff first, and we're just going to go through where everyone is sitting right now. As you can tell, the level 5 checkpoints and the level 6 towers are currently unlocked, so you should have collected those by now. If not, you could do better. With that being said, G1 is still advancing pretty steadily. We have regular fights around the level 8 Sanctum based off of the Guardians that spawn around here. But otherwise, it's been a pretty tame Archipelago raid for us. We've currently built all the way to our level 6 checkpoint, which will not unlock for a little while longer. And our level 7 should unlock tomorrow. We have 21 hours, and we will try and be here for it. The Azure region, with AOW, FX3, and NTD, has not quite made it to their level 6 yet, but they'll make it with plenty of time to spare. And DHX, NM49, and 59E, of course, have already made it to their level 6, and it does look like they've started building south. It's just a race for building materials at this point. ANCS, TH45, and NME haven't quite started building. Oh, there it is. There's our first tower building into the region, so they should have plenty of time to make it over here. Hopefully we can give them the resources they need to make that happen. But all in all, don't really have a lot going on in G1 right now. I imagine things will start picking up once the level 6 checkpoints are taken. Onward to G2, which does have Boone and HNB on opposite sides. Now, I will say to anyone that wants to watch this stream, please let me know if you have something going on in your regions. I want to showcase all the fighting. Boone, fine. OXO, definitely quite a bit further ahead than us in building. About 4 more towers, and they just barely touched their level 6, so they got plenty of time. What's going on here? A little bit of fighting from DHX. Okay, no, they've backed off. Back to what I was doing. So you've got Boone, who's built into their region nicely. You've got Crimson, Spec, and KD and Lion starting to build towards their level 6. HMB, SLGS, DF39. They haven't made it to their level 6, but it looks like they're going to build to a middle point and then build each way, which will save them probably about 1 power. Ooh. And to think, if they had built, it wouldn't have made a difference, I guess. It makes me wonder if there's a way to not need this weird looking flag here. But Azure region of Lost, and LM4S have not started really building into the region yet. They're kind of slow building it. So they're taking their sweet time. Doesn't look like they're going to go for the level 7. Onward to G3. G3 has BTW, LAS, DevB, ANCB. There's a lot. SNS we've seen before, ND41, SDS. A lot of people that we know. See how they're doing. Ooh. Man, Crimson's just not allowed to play. SKNG, BTW, and TPL are going to try and take this side by themselves. It's going to be a battle for building materials at this point because they're not. I don't know if they're going to have enough flags for it. I think they might have enough, but they're going to be cutting it close. So then you've got Azure, who's coming over to the left, Golden, who went north. So it looks like it's still going to be Azure and Golden versus Crimson and Jade. But with Crimson not being able to leave its own space, I don't imagine they're going to try and help out Jade at all. They're likely going to sit in their area and farm, which don't blame them. I mean, don't blame them in the slightest. Now, I did make a short list of regions that I wanted to look at. Let me pull that list up. Okay. Got a few. I was asked to check G4 specifically. So let's check G4. Okay, Jade went north, took their space. Crimson went west, took their space. Golden, south, took theirs. Azure, east, took theirs. No real fighting going on here. Kind of a nice, easy Archipelago raid to start things off. Anyone sees any fighting they want to get shown on stream, let me know. But G4 is advancing pretty smoothly. G5 did have an interesting setup, I believe along the north side here, with 2 alliances going full in one direction. And here it is here. And we got it. We've got some fighting going on here. We've got a Thunder at Dut. If you've listened to me talk about this before, you know that I don't really value Thunder in an offensive rally, simply because the ratio of lightly wounded to heavily wounded in a rally like this is not in their favor. Now, they're primarily using this to tank damage, and it's doing that job well. It's even absorbing a counter rally right now. And it's like, it's not intended to survive. That's not its goal. This is where the damage is coming from. This Chun-Lewis rally, hitting anything that happens to be around it, is just devastating. I imagine this is probably even hurting the rally back here. This rate here, I will go ahead and put this in the English channel as well as the Alliance channel. And it does look like Thunder Lewis is not going to hold here. We were curious with how damage was factored before, if running a counter damage based Garrison would work. Ooh, talk about a finisher. Another Chun-Lewis rally. Nope, that is a Chun-Julia. My bad. If that Julia is awakened, you can kiss the healing capabilities of that Thunder goodbye. Hot 9 is sending a counter rally at Thunder. And it is a Charlie. What are we going for here? Oh my god. Oh boy. Yeah, that rally is just falling apart. And oh man. Dear God. They canceled the counter rally on Thunder, but Thunder is having people pull away right now, which is not in their favor. If they could swarm this, if Cozy and the team could swarm this now, it would go down pretty quick. They canceled it. Oh man, if they could finish this out. You can check the heal. He got silenced out of his own, and he's only healing for 2,800. Yeah, he should be able to be taken down. Will they finish it out? They've got the damage on it. They're making good trades. Okay, the trades are starting to fall. And they're getting reinforcements in now. Yeah, no clue. I had to laugh at that. That was ridiculous. These are... Hot 9. I just need this. Hot 9 is Region 9. It is Region 9. Region 9. And again, it is from a player who hasn't been playing much. I think I'm 1322, so I'm still older than that person. We're going to watch this. I don't think they're going to be able to take it this time. They can't get the field presence to get up there. but if they can get new rallies set on it now, I think they're fine. Okay. And that's a cancel. And you gotta give props to Beast Mode for... Look at him. If HM would have been there earlier, I wonder if they can just swarm this thing now, but I don't think they can. Trying. Yeah, you need to back away from it. Okay, we'll come back to this one in a moment. With both of these two fighting it out, I see some interesting fights happening in Region 5. Onward to Region 10. Region 10 is the next on my list that had a similar setup going on. Let's go. And it looks like Crimson is not allowed to play. Or at least not there. They've allowed them to have the tower. However, they're not getting the checkpoint, which means Golden is effectively locked to these two regions. Now, they could come out to the south, I guess. But with Azure building both ways, almost as if they're trying to cover their bases. Yeah, Jade's going to come and take their level 6. Azure is going to take their level 6. Honestly, Azure could probably fight for this level 7 or from this way the level 8, regardless of what team they ended up being on. Then again, that's the beauty of not knowing what team you're going to be on. Now, it's a shame we missed whatever fighting happened around here, but it is what it is. Being shared coordinates. Plenty of AOW players. Left side of the level 8. Okay. Anyways, on to Region 13. This one came at the request of Panda later today. Oh, sorry, earlier today. And I already saw why. Oh, you just won't even let him play. He was just going after the tower thing. Blue decided to push into Green's territory. Crimson has gone east. Golden's gone north. I imagine Golden will push south with their towers. Okay, this is inefficient as fuck. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nine, 10. Sorry. 10, 11, 12. Make it. Could have easily gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Isn't it said that you will team with the one you connect with? The idea, and this has caused problems before with some people because they haven't ended up in what they wanted to. If you align more with the left side of the map, you will be part of the Westwood faction. If you align more with the east side of the map, you should be with the East Bay team. However, that does not work out perfectly. Because one, there's people who won't make it out of their space. And if they can't make it out of their space, they don't have a good affiliation with one side or the other. This is an East Bay tower. It counts towards East Bay, but Jade doesn't have either of the East Bay towers. It is very possible that Crimson and Azure will end up working together from East Bay, and Jade will have to be stuck with Westwood, despite being on the wrong side of the map. It has happened already. So, something interesting to think about. It does look as if they used to have space over here, and Azure pushed them back hard. The idea that you can make it across this area now so much faster opens things up quite a bit. Azure. I was looking at that one. I see the perks that they were going for. I don't think they're worthwhile enough to have run a rally. Here, let me see if we can load one up. This is the reason why. Invaders, 60% of their heavily wounded units will die, 40 get sent to the hospital. 30% of defenders' heavily wounded units will die, and 70% sent to the hospital from the defense side. I do know that the rate of heavily wounded to lightly wounded is also slightly different, but there's not a good gauge of that. If you don't have lightly wounded troops, you don't have anything that Thunder can heal. He's not healing, he's not doing his job. So at some point, a Thunder rally just isn't good because there's not enough for it to heal. You should be trading defense for offense in that case. Now, could you run a Thunder with a lot of offensive perks? With offensive armaments, for example, running a DUT? You absolutely could. I would advise against it, but you could. However, the main reason they did that is so that they had a wall. And Thunder is a wall, and a DUT with her amazing infantry attack buffs makes for a solid counterattack as well. Between the 44% here and the 40% there, you're still looking at about a... Come on, quick math. 27% increase the damage if you're running all infantry. Plus, she's got a nice defense buff for 30% for 3 seconds. Skill damage reduction. I mean, she can. Whose wall is getting their ass kicked? Are they fighting again? I want to head back over there. Oh, G5, same tower. So they were hitting it again. I just... Come on. Type. Learn to type properly. Now, Jade went north, same tower. Yeah, see, this one they have Puss in Boots with Thunder Adut. And it's... I mean, it's tanking. It shouldn't be taking as much damage as it is, considering the amount of troops... the amount of troops that are currently hitting this one. But... yeah, it wasn't full. They get a little behind because they have people like this who are marching from God knows where to fill the damn thing up. Also, informative lesson for everybody trying to defend a tower. If you are not close to the tower, do not march directly to the tower. If I were to... and here, I can show you. If I wanted to get to, say, this tower quickly... if I go to reinforce this tower from here, it's going to take me 2 minutes and 49 seconds. The problem with that is it counts those troops as already being there, despite them not being there. If someone hits that tower right now, it's dead immediately, because there's no troops in it. So if your troops are marching from 2 minutes away, your tower is suffering more damage than it should because your troops aren't there. So what you should do is find a shelter nearby and march to it. Bring your full troops so that keeps this empty for anyone closer to fill it up. And if the fights are active, you'll eventually have space. So don't march from miles away to get to your tower. Help your team out, march close to it, and then get in. Okay, sorry about that, Z. Wanted to add that informational. Feels like the play here is to build towers around to the right. Oh, okay. Analyzing. With the way things are set up here, Jade's best course of action would be to build this way without touching the red. So I don't think you could build here. I think this is literally one space over. So you would have to build it on this side, and it would be slower going up. However, you should be able to connect to both of these towers without touching this line. From here to there, in 2 flags, you can hit 2 different places, and it looks as if Jade has enough people to manage that. Yeah, see, it's taking too much damage. Now, as for red, honestly, I don't think red should move. There's no way they're not taking the better trades on this. I mean, look at this. Puss in Boots is still fighting him despite no reason doing so. I mean, and they're confident enough that they're pulling out to replace troops now. There was a third rally. They had Puss in Boots here and then 2 ranged rallies, one much weaker than the other, so it actually canceled fairly quickly. So they run an infantry and 2 range rallies, perfectly fine to do. Especially if you're trying to stack silence, which one of them was a Chun Julia and the other one was a Chun Lewis. But I digress. And the range rallies we're putting in work. But they're still squishy. That's one of the reasons why you and me, Z, tend to think that the counter damage is where it's at right now. That keeps our skill damage focused on the one we're trying to hit, and pushes a lot of additional counter damage onto our enemies. But hopefully, we'll get a chance to test that later on in Archipelago. They should be rallying right now, but we'll come back to it. We still have 3 more regions to check. No, 2 more regions. My bad. Region 31, the one I was asked to check out. Oh, I am too. Bella Elena would be absolutely devastating for single target damage. Plus, with Bella on the field, she would increase the damage of the Chun Julia rally. But I guess they have people that are better suited for range rallies than anything else. Okay, so Crimson went their way, Golden went their way, Azure went both ways, and Jade is allowed to play. They are keeping their distance, knowing they don't have to actually push towards them. They just have to look like they could defend if shit hits the fan. So, not a lot of fighting going on here. And the last one I was asked to check is actually down at 57. So you got Jade going north, Crimson going west, Golden going south and north, and not doing anything with it, and Azure heading west as well. This might be another situation where Crimson and Azure end up on the same team, which would put Golden on the far side of the map from the rest of its team, which does add to a potential attacking option if they can go ahead and stack resources now. What we got here? Okay, so now that I'm situated, I'm going to... What are we looking at? Anyone march into this one? Nope. Oh, it's currently 7. Sorry. Brain fart there for a second. Back to G5. I'll wait for someone to point out a shelter, sorry, base materials later on. Okay, so we've got the Julia Lewis rally. Listen Boots is still dying in there strong, to the point where he's got a counter rally from Bella Sven. Just 1 second while we watch this. They really should time their rallies. Oh, what do we got? Okay. Now, remember, if any of you have any questions about the game, now is the time to ask them. If you have any issues with the event, if you want to see your own region or alliance showcased in all this, please let me know. I am here to help you all enjoy this, because this is still a very new event for everyone. So if I can help get you all to a point where you enjoy an event that probably requires some spending in order to do well, feel free to ask. I want to help you all enjoy it. Yeah, I got Tom and Wish version of Tom. One. Yeah, I'll make it there in a few minutes. 4 minutes for those. Cool. While those are marching there, no, get in the proper habit, Anthony. Go. Actually click on the stupid thing. And we're still rallying. It is ugly. I will be right back. You all watch this for a second. I need a snack. Anyway, I have returned. Load my G drive later and send you the link. You can cut, edit, and use if you like any. Honestly, I think Lucifer, what I'm going to do with that is I'm just going to create a highlights reel for any clips that people want to see. I will credit them for who created the clips. Try and keep just the action from it and just post that as a highlights reel. Because you can see all the stuff that I posted in mine. And most of the people, a lot of the people that watch my videos are also the ones that watch my stream. John, I will check out G22 at your request. Do it this way. Okay, we've got Jade. Hey, it's okay to not have those. Those are cool, but they don't give as much of a buff as you think. It's more those are usually stronger because they spend money in everything. So, the cool skins are awesome, and if you do save up for one of those events later on, you can push one event and try and get it, but it's not the end of the world. I try not to think about it too much myself. Okay, looking at this, starting from the bottom. Hey, it's Puta Madres. I haven't heard from her in a while. Actually, I think she messaged in my Discord earlier. Sorry, PTMM is an alliance I've been following for like 6 months, because their leader had been reaching out to me with questions. So Azure decided to go east. Jade looked like they were starting to push south, but ended up going north. And it was a good choice. Crimson heading west and Golden heading south means that nobody is really arguing with anyone right now. With that being said, I am curious about something since I haven't looked at this region before. We've got 10-3 and 3 and 3. Wow, the algorithm really putting people together today. But it doesn't mean they're all even. Either way, algorithm will be algorithming, and this appears to be a mostly even region. The only issue I see right now is the fact that Golden appears to have more active members. Crimson is doing fairly well in that respect, despite... Oh no, that's actually optimal for this. It really doesn't actually... Hold on. I can't... It would have pushed that this way. 1. Yeah, I don't think it would have made a difference. It really sucks, but anyways. Overall, all in all, G22 might have a lot of fun once the 6s open up. Azure is a bit behind, but not something they can't make. Oh, crap. Run away! Damn, AOW. I didn't realize I got there that fast. That's on me. I probably should port over here soon. These provide resources. I wish I had enough food and wood to give it to you. I really do. What's going on here? Why are all the base supplies on that side of the map? That's kind of bull. No. I know I can't beat Walter. And just march on home. Which sucks. What I get for not paying attention. Cool. I am a little bit sad that we work together as a region to make sure as many people hit that top 20 and get their rewards. But I do prefer fighting in arena, you know? And ever since the setup was put in, there's not been as much fighting. There's a few people up at the top that don't like to change their rank, but all in all, most people will lower their defense so that their alliance mates or their region can get in the top 20. For getting attack. Well, John, for new players, it depends on if you want to decide to be a spender or not. For non-spenders, I typically suggest going into infantry because a lot of the things that infantry doesn't require you to be actually strong to pull it off. For example, you have heroes like Tom who reduce target damage, reduce damage taken by you and nearby allies. You also have Thunder who has a nice damage buff for all nearby allies, and a reduction in attack by 45% against rider squads in a specific range. None of what I just said cares about what types of troops you use, how many you can bring to the field, none of it. You can bring tier 4 troops with a Thunder Tom. They will usually avoid hitting that, and you get to rack up those buffs and debuffs on your enemies, being a huge benefit to field combat. And riders and range don't really have that issue. Don't really have a lot of things you can do in that aspect. Riders tend to be hit and run tactics. For example, you've got, bring her up where you are, Bella, who gains a large amount of rage when entering battle, so she's actually one of the few commanders that can get off her first skill in within 10 seconds, and deal a large amount of damage. You've got Cynthia, and I'll do both here because Jitesh is asking me to look at Cynthia's skills. Cynthia reduces the travel speed of the enemy, so it's harder for them to run away and harder for them to attack back, alongside of even higher travel speed buffs for herself. Rider squad buffs a okay heal. I mean, 20% trigger rates with there not being a timer on it means on average about 1 in 5 seconds. So about every skill cycle you're getting a full round of healing. Hey, Smoke Alt. And if it's with Catherine, you've got the additional 15% increased, which isn't a lot. I think it's 180 on top of this, so 1380. The additional 50 rage does come into play to make her skills pop off just a little bit faster. 50 rage after using a skill guarantees a 1 second timer off. 1 second off that timer. But yeah, riders move quickly, attack, and if they get in trouble, they can back out. Ranged can't back out, but they are all about dealing as much damage as possible to the enemy, and in some ways now starting to mitigate the damage that they take. Chun, one of the highest 2-target damage dealers in the game, because her damage factor while awakened is 13,000 on 2 enemies. It does get stronger if she's only hitting 1, but chances are in a group combat she's hitting 2. The only problem with Chun, this stupid thing, she does have a slight rage generation whenever she takes skill damage, but you're telling a ranged commander to take skill damage in order to gain rage. That's not a good idea. So that's why you see a lot of people pair Chun with Lewis in order to combat that lack of rage generation. But she's powerful. She's got great increased skill damage, not bad travel speed, 20% ranged squad attack. Then you've got... Where are you at, bud? I know I had... There, right there. Lewis, who's still arguably one of the strongest commanders in the game, as far as versatility is concerned, because he can hit 5 enemy squads in a circle around himself when it's awakened, and his damage changes based on how many people he's hitting. If you've got a lot of people in an area that you need to wipe out quickly, he can hit 5 for somewhere in the range of 4,800 apiece, which is really good, because 4,800 times 5... 24,000 damage factor on everybody. Yeah, that's nothing to scoff at. And it's hard to avoid. Plus, he's got the additional skill damage, nice range squad buff, and one of the best rage generation skills in the game. But notice how a lot of that is based around his skill damage and no defensive options. He gets hit, it's gonna hurt. So, to continue on with your question, John, if you are going to spend, pick range or rider, focus them hard, and be that rally captain for your team, so that when you're in events like this and you can be the one running rallies, you can hurt people. If you do not plan on spending for whatever reason, and there's nothing wrong with not spending, I would run infantry, because it's the easiest to manage and provides the greatest support on the field for the lowest amount of investment. So, hopefully, John, that answers your question. I know I kind of rambled there a bit, but it was what you were asking wasn't exactly the simplest question. I didn't want to just say, go into infantry, do as I say. I feel like if people understand the why, it makes it more. Uh, it makes the decision more approachable. For most people, it is going to be an infantry game, Smoke, and that's because of how easy it is to manage. I do feel like the game caters to infantry in order to cater to its free-to-play player base. And it also, because infantry is so defensive, if you're not spending, you should have plenty of infantry to work with, so that when you get into these kind of fights, your entire alliance has infantry to throw at a tower. Whereas it's okay to have a limited number of ranged and rider troops to bring to the field, because you're only doing offensive maneuvers, hopefully under coordination. We'll watch this for a second longer. If you have any more questions, please put them in the chat. I have to respond to messages. Okay. It's not frozen at 5 seconds. However, I don't think there is a combo that can go faster than 5. I think... Actually, no, I take that back. It would take a massive amount of luck, but you could get it lower. And that actually focuses on this one here. Squad's basic attacks have a 10% chance to recover 140 rage. Notice how there's no timer on that. It is entirely possible to have that thing pop off 3-4 times in a row. If you do that alongside her skill tree and alongside another commander that has a good rage generation, maybe Lewis, maybe Cynthia, you'd get Cynthia's... Well, let's assume Cynthia for a second. And I say that if you ever awakened, just assuming. 50 rage after using a skill, you get 100 for both skills. Catherine, let's assume both of these, this skill goes off 4 times in a row. In 4 seconds, it goes off all 4 times. That's 280, 560. So you're looking at 660 in 4 seconds, plus the 100 rage that you get for each second in combat, and that's not even counting the skill tree, which gives a great amount of rage. So, could it go faster than 5 seconds? Yes. Requires a sheer amount of luck. Now, you could also stack this beautiful woman's rage buffs on top of enemies. I do need to test if 2 people's rage generation from Bianca stack, because it's alongside of this attack and defense buff. And usually these kinds of buffs don't stack from similar sources. So a Bianca, if there were 2 Biancas on the field and a Raigoro, if the Bianca's skills went off, only one of them would affect Raigoro at a time until it went away. It could reset it, but I don't know if this 60 rage comes in as well. Something I need to test. I believe, though, the standard, the best consistent rage you could get is about 5 seconds. I am curious, though. 25, assume 5 seconds. You're only getting 125 there this time. Skill tree for that, which is 60, 120 for 2 skills. $270, 395, 95, and then the basic attacks bonuses. Yeah, that can get 5 seconds too. Weird, but it could be done. Go free. Anyways, back to our regularly scheduled programming, as opposed to listening to me do math in my head. They have stopped attacking it. I do wish I knew what these reports were so we could share them and look at them together. I am curious if they're going to rally it again, but I wouldn't put it past them. They're stacking up. They're stacking up to do that. What do you got here? There's that rally. It's Puss in Boots. Did they coordinate this time? They planned the rallies together? No. For everybody else who's watching this, coordinate your rallies. Coordinate them, please, so that you don't have a single tank rally out on the field getting its ass handed to it because it's not designed to deal damage. It's just there to absorb it. Now, it's going to get swarmed into oblivion. They're not even moving to protect it. Now, for future reference, for timing these rallies properly, what you can do is have your infantry rally set last and set 2 other rallies before it. Have one person from way in the back somewhere put 1 troop into both of the offensive rallies for defense. He's rallying this with Thunder Adut in order to be able to tank the damage from the Thunder Lewis. All of this Thunder's basic attack damage and its primary skill damage is being focused on this Thunder, who can take a hit a lot better than Bella Sven. Well, not a lot better, since it's missing some of its Garrison talents. But it's just there to absorb damage and allow the other commanders who aren't slowed down in their rage generation or anything, as well as not taking additional damage. Yeah. They can hurt this without fear of being hurt. I got a Kit Kat bar because I went to the store today, and that's my reward for myself. Did I just get excited about having to reward myself for going to the store? Yes, You'll have to deal with that. I am an introvert. I don't want to go to the store otherwise. So much of me wants to get out there, but I know even I won't hit him. Okay. I need to get my own personal points up. Anyways, back to G5 so we can watch that stuff going on. Hello to everybody I'm up to 13 viewers now. So if anyone in the current group of people that's talking to me, if you would like a particular region showcased, please let me know. The current fighting is in G5 over this little tower, and we've been watching them hit this tower for quite a while. John, 100% agree. Adut Eddy would be a much better infantry rally here, because not only does it have the damage output with Adut's infantry attack and Eddy's counter damage, it also does a very good job of preventing counter rallies. People don't want to hit something that can hit them just as hard back. Right now, Thunder Adut can't hit back as hard. And you can see that in the numbers. You've got a Thunder carry who is simply on the field hitting this thing with maybe 300,000 tier 6 troops, and they're not dying. Up against an Adut Eddy on the field, they would be dying. And it blows my mind that there's not at least like 3 people wiping this guy out right now. Because that carry is devastating Thunder's healing ability and making it harder for him to do his job. No. See, they didn't even want to counter, well, they still didn't want to counter rally a Thunder Adut for the most part. But they did counter rally Julia Lewis, and it's hurting everyone involved, honestly. Ooh, bad timing, H202. You started a rally. What are you rallying? Let me go ahead and set up my mass deploy here. Chat all my troops back. Damn. They literally just came over here to... Damn. Oh well. I needed to be up here anyway. And they're not having any luck. Damn. Those are really nice armaments. And good equipment, too. I wish I could have armaments. Oh, yeah. That's actually a great one. And let me explain what happened in case that was confusing. DHX, let's see, where Safe Me is. From here, he launched a rally, an infantry only, not infantry, a rider only rally on a hive mine all the way over in our territory. That gave him a lot of speed. It ensured that there wouldn't really be anyone to hit them along the way, and it put 2 million troops squarely in enemy territory. Now, once those troops got over there, I think he hits the this hive mind right here. As soon as it hit, he canceled the rally. Now everyone's got their rider troops who are built for speed going around emptying out the say the word emptying out the gathering spots. Good lord. I hope you notice me. Charge, Mr. Daily. Man, I wish I could be online during the day more often, but my job doesn't allow it. Apparently, gaming on the job is against good order and discipline of the United States military. But I digress. Oh, he dropped it. It's just one. He missed. Very nice. Bring that shit home. Bringing home the bacon. Or whatever those alliance supplies happen to be called. Sorry, zoned out. I see you, Nom Nom. Aw. Oh no! Your enemy! I must find you. I don't see you. If we had like a secret plan, then I would honestly be a little bit worried. But there's no secret plan. As of right now, Archipelago Raid is playing out like an extended island raid. And yeah, that's next cement fight is at 02 UTC. Why? Because not this one. That's how often the damn thing spawns. Oh. Can't use a different name in YouTube than you do in game? That's just not fair. I thought I saw a pharaoh. Oh no. It's happening. Aww. Boo. What? I lost. Oh. I was like, when did I lose a big fight? Eh. Hey, I don't mind teaching my enemies. I don't mind other people knowing how I play the game. Because, it makes the fights with those people a lot more interesting. Guys, if I kept all the tricks to myself, ah, if I kept all the good tricks to myself, it wouldn't be fun for people, and then I wouldn't have anyone to play with. And there you are. Suez. Do I see us to win Archipelago? I don't know. Archipelago, most of the archipelagos have been pretty straightforward. Nice infantry buffs here, Pharaoh. Very nice. You got more kills than I do. Not a bad spread of them either. Most of my kills are defensive, but I'm stuck fighting tier 5 and tier 6 on defense, so I don't get as many kills out of it. Anyways, where are we right now? I need to... I see... If you're on our Legion, I see it as a possibility. Primarily because there's a couple of alliances in here that aren't showing up with numbers. DHX is strong. That's going to be the biggest contender there. But I think with some support, ROK can handle DHX. And if we have the numbers on our side and can stack the resources required to get to this, I think we have a chance. What's going to end up happening is our best chance of winning this is to get there first. Oh, Mustafa, we don't know what we're doing here either. I think the only reason we got put in G1 is because of all the fighting we did in the last Archipelago Raid. HMB had a bit of a falling out with some of its members, so some of their very small amount of their bigger players did end up hopping around to places they wanted to be, and Hans picked ROK. But because of how potent defense is, I think that if ANCS can block off this side, and between NBD, ROK, and our Jade Legion can block off this side, it's going to come down to who can hold out on defense. Because ANCS, CH45, NME, this is under the assumption that Jade and Crimson get put together. If any of you all saw the messes that were happening in the last Archipelago raid, despite Crimson not coming only over here, that's still not guaranteed. Still not guaranteed. However, I'm hopeful. Assuming that ANCS does come over here, we could meet them at the level 8 as a 2v1 right here with primarily ANCS handling offense, because we are going to have to defend from not only DHX, but also the Azure Legion as a whole. Just based on how quickly we've been able to build, I think that we're going to be able to make it to... I think it's possible we make it to the level 8 before they do. And if we can do that, with all the resources, and we have enough resources for it, we just have to hold. And on defense is where NBD wants to be. We have more than enough Garrison commanders that can run defenses. Hell, me with my tier 5 skills can handle a defense in the pinch. So. That's freaking awesome, Mustafa. It's always good to win an island. I feel like the first island that I played in, way back, and thinking about this now makes me realize how busted that the matchmaking on that was. Oh, here we go. Oh god, it saved me. You... Just so I can see Safe Me's stuff. Dear God, he was at 149,000 troops. But because of all of that gear, he can do that much better than me. I mean, it's fair. I mean, look at the guy. I would not be surprised if 100 million of that is in armaments alone. Ooh. Anyways. I'll keep an eye on my march. Other than Safe Me, I think I can fight evenly with everyone else that came over in that mess. But I do want to see how this is going. It is not burning. They are not rallying right now. Oh, they're getting rallied though. Got a couple of good rallies going from VGRB and Cozy, but they do not have the field presence. Oh, I don't want to show my armaments. They're garbage. Sure. Hey, reach out to me in game so I can send it to you easier. Oh, crap. I want to watch that. Oh, there you are. Hello. Do. It was this one. Oh. No, that was this. Share. Boom. Go nuts. Awesome. You got that, and I will go back to G5. You're welcome, Swez. I want to see how well they do on offense. Okay. Not great. Because of the limited amount of rallies, you have to play them smart. You have to. If you're going to send only range and rider rallies, you need to have field control or they will get eaten alive. It doesn't matter that it's 2 million. Oh, his armaments? Sure. I can show his off while they're messing around up here. Same one. Armaments. Yeah. 5-star everything. And I was just seeing if I could hit him with any troops. Taking a look at it. I thought that one, because of the red at the bottom here, I got freaked out for a second. He went built for travel speed so that his troops can outrun just about anything. The squad attack here probably needs to be buffed out, but because it's red, it's hard to beat that even with rider stuff. You got a rare hit on this 5th one. Taking skill damage deals... When taking skill damage, deals skill damage back. 1350 is about 2/3 of a round of combat. So it's not a lot, but it's nothing to scoff at. It's going to be nice. Then you've got another rare here. Basic attacks have a 20% chance to grant 40 additional rage. It's not a lot. But once in 6 seconds means that you're probably going to get this at least once. So if you've done the math and you're within 40 rage of going down another second in that skill cycle, this is great. And you'll get it pretty consistently. See, more travel speed. More travel speed. I wish I could get the totals from here, but... Every 15 seconds reduces movement speed and defense of nearby enemies in an area by 25% and 25% respectively for 3 seconds. This is honestly the most busted one I've seen so far. Yes, it's every 15 seconds, but a defense reduction for 3 seconds of 25% on nearby enemy. How many? Hell, even if it's only 2, you're still getting a lot of value out of that. Still haven't gotten to 5-star here, so I'm kind of curious what that opens up. Still got a squad attack and squad damage, but nothing bad here. And he's still working on this one. Chances are he's got this one selected as a reward this time around. Start putting stuff into it. So yeah, Save Me has amazing armaments, and that's his speed setup. He has other full sets for riders and infantry, um, built around dealing damage. He made that one fast. Can you imagine if he switched out all of that travel speed for lethality and attack power? Ugh. Anyways, before I start gushing over the amount of money in someone else's wallet, go back to some fighting. Back in 1767, there once was a turtle that tried to take over the world. Okay. Well, damn. It appears they have stopped. Armored scavenger, open area. What do we got? Damn. Oh, I missed it. Oh well. What do I get? Well, Lionel Del Taco. Yeah, he's. Yeah, the level 5 skills are all. The 5-star skills are all pretty nice. But that is. That is unnecessarily strong. The reason Jaden lasts so long and viability for arena and stuff like that is because he has a defense reduction in his active skill. The fact that that's just in a freaking pair of shoes that you can throw on anybody? I don't know. Stop paying attention to this one. You're waiting on it. Yeah, it's a lot. Anyways, checking out the other regions that had some stuff going on. That might have had some going on. Oh, a little bit of fighting right here, but not a lot. Oh. Hmm. I do want to see if I can mess with somebody. There's no more stuff, which is a damn shame. No, I'll just leave it there for now. Chins, log in, all that good stuff. Sorry. When you get distracted by your phone for a second. And there's just not a lot going on. We got some field fighting. Gotta give this Raigoro Tom props for trying to hold on as long as they have been. But I don't think that's even tier 5. Based on the amount of damage being dealt to it, that's probably tier 4 troops. And they just brought them up there in order to hold a position. It came from way down here. Okay, on to G13, which was one of the others on the list. Because you had Azure and Jade over here touching tips. Doesn't look like they're going to do much of anything. Heading over to 31. Now, if anyone has any more regions that are actually fighting right now, that would be greatly appreciated. I want to see this stuff unfold, and Phase 1 isn't going to give us a lot of content because people don't have to fight. Once they decide where they're going, and if it's not in the way of anything, they're not going to fight. And it's in their best interest not to for Phase 1. Get where you're going quickly. Learn your buttonology, please. I think it was 51. No, it wasn't 51. Okay, into the general. No, it was 57. Well, let's take a look at 51 real quick. Damn. Jade and Azure working together. Getting shit done. Really trying to make sure that no one takes their level 7 away from them, despite... Ooh. Are they going to fight for it? Probably not. With what's going on there, Azure should build to this level 6 and then come over here to try and take this from them. But I think Jade and Azure are going to run away with that one. And go 57. Jade, Crimson, Golden, and Azure had the chance, but it doesn't look like Azure. Okay, they just built that. What is the best talent build for Thunder Garrison? I'll admit, I don't know. I'm not fond of the Garrison talent tree, to be perfectly honest. I don't feel that the buffs from it are better than the infantry or even the defense tree. But let me look at these real quick. Because the nodes, for example, is a squad attack of 0.75%. Chances are you're running full infantry, and you can get 1.5% or 3% in here as opposed to just 1.5%. Now, there are some really nice talents in here, like for example, you can gain 10 rage whenever you're attacked, which would apply to any rallies hitting you. When garrisoning, reduces skill damage by 16%, increases squad attack and defense by 5%. That's kind of lackluster. Garrison squad takes a flank attack, reduces all damage by 8%. And increases squad attack, defense, and HP by 2%. The shield down here is kind of nice because it's a 1250 shield, which will absorb about a full round's worth of damage. And it does get triggered about once in 10 seconds. So it can be helpful. I just don't think it's enough. Between the likes of Infantry Guard, reducing damage by 20% for 2 seconds when attacked, on top of damage controls, another 15%, you can pick up a little over 1,000 in healing anytime you use a skill, as opposed to a shield for 1,200 that you only get a 10% chance of activating, and there's a limit on how many times it can be activated. So this one goes off every time there's a heal. So I think personally, delving into the defense tree and the infantry tree are the best bets for you, focusing on picking up defensive buffs as opposed to offensive ones. I've been toying around with the additional 3% in stats as opposed to this, for the simple fact that you don't get to use this until you're down below 30%. And yeah, the rage generation adds up. I think it's basically Lewis's skill, but the fact that you have to wait until 30%, even if you're going to sit at that 30% for so long, I don't think it's worth it to have to wait. So, personally, I would probably use this. What you got for me? What are we looking at? Oh, hello. Well, they're not gonna make it. Nom nom. Nom 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 nom. Sadly, I don't think you're going to be able to run. There's too many options on the field right now that are lowering your travel speed. And poor Nom Nom is going to be Nom Nommed. Damn it, Quinn, how dare you? I am not triggered once every 10 seconds. That's your fault. Anyways. I do apologize. If there are people talking in one chat versus another, I can see all of the chats because I run this through Restream, but I'm finding out that you all can't see each other. I need to find a way for you all to be able to see the chats on screen. I haven't played with that enough lately, and I've had a lot of stuff going on personally, so I've been focusing on that. I will try and get that figured out before the end of Archipelago Raid, so that you all can at least talk to each other cross-platform. I imagine the chaos of the game is going to get pretty wild after the level 6 checkpoints open up in a couple of days. And I would like for you all to be able to talk to each other and pay attention to everything. If it's anything like the last island raid was with HMB versus Boone, now that there's a center spot for them to fight over, there's probably going to be some chaos and a lot of broken phones. Cody, absolutely I can look at G24. Looks like the rest of them. Okay, let's take a look. Azure said no to Jade taking level 6 here. Although for the most part this seems amicable. Jade is building both ways but hasn't taken any of the checkpoints yet, so it's kind of odd here. Whereas Crimson has taken a level 5 checkpoint on one side as well as almost the checkpoint on this side, along with a level 6 tower. Golden went south, got their stuff. They're happy, moving up towards Treasure City, the Treasure City and the level 6 checkpoint. So, Golden sitting pretty. Crimson is going to be the oddball here, because with them building both ways, taking stuff in both areas, it's really hard to say where you're going to get put. I imagine if Crimson gets put with Golden on Westwood, then things will progress fairly normally, save for this top corner. Because instead of going for this level 8, Crimson would have access to the level 7 immediately. And since it appears that, let's make sure Azure's not building that way. It's hard to say what Azure is doing, because they're not building towards any of the checkpoints either. They should be, but they're not. And only one legion can pass through the checkpoint at a time. And if, say for example, green comes through here and starts building north, and then blue comes here and starts building this way, as soon as this checkpoint is gone for one side, they lose all this territory, and vice versa. So I don't know where they're going to go from here. It might be possible that Azure is sitting this one out, but they wanted to have some points to their name. In which case, that's dumb. But I digress. Where's the world? I would like to be able to show you all some stuff. I'm glad there was some fighting that we got to see, because I wanted to know how tower rallies were going to be handled this time around, with the decrease in damage dealt as well as the limitation on rallies launched. I am glad that I was wrong about one thing. In my video, I discussed the rally damage and garrison damage, and the way that it was worded. Here, let's make sure I wasn't crazy. Not this one. Not the reward one. Here we go. The way that this was written reduced all rally and garrison squad damage from 50% to 30%. I read that as it's only 50% of the total damage, and they were reducing it to 30, while also reducing the amount of rally attacks at a time. Meaning that 3 rallies would only deal 90% of the damage, and they were upping the maximum garrison capacity. So I was like, this is weird. Thankfully, it wasn't from 50 to 30, it was from 150 to 30% total. So you get an increase in damage, garrisons get an increase in damage, which definitely explains why counter damage was so effective for us. Because if you run like a Thunder Tom on Garrison for whatever reason, then you're forced to deal with the fact that you don't have a lot of increased damage. Thunder heals, and that isn't affected by damage. Same with Tom and his healing, as well as all of the buffs. So the garrison captains aren't able to fully take advantage of this damage bonus. However, if you've got a hero the likes of like Eddie, who's going to be next person to level up a little bit, since he does have counter damage options, he's great at leading infantry, great HP, and does have a decent skill damage factor. Here, let me hop over in your area again. 24, correct? You said Azure and Jade fought over that tower for a while. Crimson and Golden have an alliance. Well, if Azure fought over this tower, and they get to keep that they have a tower, Jade should just move on. Should just move on. But it's hard to rally from that position. A lot of open space to try and cover. Anyways, with that being said, I don't see there being too much more fighting, if any at all, right around in here. God, that makes you all so slow. Die. Dang. Caught most of that on... Anyways. CHX Cassandra also has a solid amount of armaments, and was actually losing to Notorious's infantry team. I'm very curious to know why. Huh. I'll have to look into that further later. Okay, if they have the building materials, they can build closer to the checkpoint itself. Anyways. Anyone have any other regions they want me to check out? Or am I heading back to mine real quick? Sorry, needed to message out my ideas for continuing the tattoo that I just recently got. When you really click with an artist and want to keep going. There are a lot of us still in 164. Where the mass at? Mass is on Sunday. I require the chippies. Oh, G5 fight is on. Thank you, Jay. Let's go. Race is on. Let's go. What we got? Oh, we got movement. The right guy is fighting Shimai. No, it's Shimai. Oh, John, I completely forgot to answer that question. Yes, Jacob is more usable in that case if you can keep all 3 rallies within Jacob's AoE range. Because Jacob is just a solid Garrison commander. The amount of damage that he can deal is ridiculous. Mm-hmm. I gotta build that. Let's go. Got to admit, Tom still being viable this late in the game is still pretty impressive, honestly. Juanita needs to learn some morals and values. Juanita needs to learn some morals and values. It was at that moment I wish I had Rigoro Eddie to be able to sit on the field and just to see how much counter damage it could do. But no, my Eddie is garbage. And I have to live with that. On that note, I've been saving some stuff up for a while. How many do I got? Only 294. That's kind of sad. I still got a few weeks. I'm gonna throw so much crap at this. Okay, sorry, I had a friend of mine who's planning on running a stream of Pokemon later on tonight, and I kind of want to be a part of that. Who doesn't love Pokemon? What? Oh. Gotta stop doing that. I'm gonna gather here. Jacob is like combined version of Bella, but for Garrison. They both have increased damage in their skills. However, Bella's is worded differently. Gotta recognize that difference. And I'll start with Jacob because I don't have him yet. With Jacob, he increases his own counter damage, which is really nice in and of itself. Increases all damage dealt while garrisoning by 7.5. Additional damage and attack reduction increases all damage by 20% or 16%. So he increases his own damage. Bella, on the other hand, increases the damage taken by the enemy. That means if there's a bunch of other people already hitting this person, all of them get increased damage buffs attacking that enemy. So there's a reason why Bella is still one of, if not the strongest rider commanders to use in the game. Because while Elena has arguably the best damage output, Bella is an amazing lead for her because of that increased damage on that active skill. When it's awakened, it's 20% for 3 seconds, 100% chance of happening, and 20% additional damage, boosting 18,000 damage factor, skill damage. Ugh. And everybody else hits that target for harder. So just keep that in mind. Yes, Jacob does increase his own damage significantly. There's just a difference between increasing your own damage and increasing the damage taken by your enemy. Yes, Ixco, DHX is with us in G1. It's definitely made things interesting on the gathering front. Because, well, DHX has a lot of fast players, and I was actually just showing the armaments for Safe Me, one of their more powerful members. And they've taken to starting a rally from their territory all the way down to, like, they'll pick out this one here, they'll rally it with all riders, then their gather hunting teams, and they'll just screw up gathers by marching 2 million troops down here, canceling as soon as it hits, and everybody goes about to kill whatever they can kill. Otherwise, right now, we're sitting pretty well. We've built all the way to our level 6 checkpoint. DHX has done the same, and they're starting to build towards the level 7, so we're keeping up with them for the most part in building. Definitely going to come down to who can get to the defensive side of this level 8 first. Yeah, I probably need to make a video about that for those that are inclined to do it. And as something to watch out for. But yeah, we watched that rally come all the way across our map. It was faster than us because it was all riders. And then as soon as it hit the hive mind, canceled. And there's 8 marches on the field, all intent on killing gatherers, and they're all faster than you. Don't really know what you can do against that. Because if you're not built for speed, you can't catch them. If you are built for speed, you're probably not strong enough to beat them with good trades. What do? Do you just stop gathering? Do you try and catch them some other way? Only thing that I can think of in regards to that is to watch them, and as soon as a rally takes off, you counter rally it in hopes of connecting with them before they get to you. DHX definitely knows what they're doing. And it's going to suck having to fight them around the level 8 because they've got the money and the troops to pull all that off. And back. Onward. Hold on. Blue is on DHX side. Yes. Azure Legion is likely going to end up with DHX. They aren't building as fast as they should be. So I think they're going to have a manpower issue. And we can handle a manpower issue. If they're not capable of bringing enough people to the field to build out, then they're probably not gonna have enough people to rally our defenses. Is it gonna hurt? Sure. AOW and the likes of them have a lot of power in the members that they have. Like, for example, like AOW, we know they've got strength. 6 billion and only 79 people, and they've got some force. Sir Jimmy K. Javier, Walter B. Savage, of course, Deathlock. If they start the rallies, it's going to hurt. I just don't think they have the personnel to keep it going. If FX3 and NTD help them cover that, 133 versus 175, they're going to need the personnel help from that side. But we also have ANCS, TH45, and NME. And ANCS still has the likes of Bluefish, Loopy Josh, Dart 14, Gator. Still quite a few people over 100 million. Master Pickles accounts down here. I do want to see what this picture is here, because they have classic Pickle to have a picture of a Boon player burning. Bomb Alekas. Yeah, there's, I think with ROK checking DHX, with us and TK84 checking the Azure Legion, that'll free up ANCS and the rest of the Crimson Legion to try and push back against DHX. We'll just handle defense against the Azure Legion, because it's definitely going to come down to who can get here first. I don't think Pickle is still playing, but that is his account. That's why I tried to specify the difference. I just hope he got if he did end up selling his account, I hope he got a good chunk of money, because that's a good account. I'll throw shit all I want to. Anyways. I'm going to check G5 again, and then I'll hop around to some other regions and see if there's anything going on. Nope. So, now with the level 6 checkpoint, the level 6 towers being visible, I should be able to see. Oh no, it's not going to let me do that. Oh, wow. Gave his account to a non-spender? I kind of want to reach out to that person to see how he likes it. Everyone good there. Tower's not taken. Let's check out G9. They don't have... That's going to be an interesting one to watch if they aren't allowed to take the tower. Nothing fancy. Nothing fancy. This has got some interest to it. Oh. Oh, damn. I was hoping there'd be something there. Anyways, went past. Those are all good. Ooh, just so you all know what I'm looking for. By this point, you should have already taken all 4 of the towers. The fact that there's a tower here that hasn't been taken, means that there's something keeping them from doing so. So I can check the map to see what that is. And since there's no one this way, double stack somewhere. And it's up here. Wow. Crimson's not allowed to play over here. That's not nice. And just when they had tried to, they got burned out. I gotta check these places more often. No. Through here. I kind of wonder what I would be able to do with Pickle's account, to be honest. Here's another one. B14. No one went that way. Got Jade and Crimson doing some light arguing over here, but all in all, Crimson's not allowed to play, and it looks as if Azure is trying to make sure that they don't end up with Jade. And it's going to lock Crimson to working with the people they have just been fighting with. We actually did have this question posed by one of our old members who wanted to go, we were already in an older region, and he wanted to go to Boone or DHX to get the all of the gifts that come from people buying packs and stuff like that. And he said it was amazing the amount of free stuff that you get for other people buying things, to the point where you almost want to buy something. And I'm like, no, I don't almost want to buy something. But it does come at the cost of never being able to win an event ever. Doesn't matter what you think you're able to do as far as running, getting high up in event rankings, unless they allow you to, you're not. Envy sold his account. There's someone in G14 Gold Legion, I believe, with his account. I'm kind of sad to see some of these bigger players go. I mean, I know the game was starting to get a little stagnant in some areas, but Archipelago Raid, last one, was entertaining as hell. So I was kind of hoping a lot of these people would stay. But we can't make them. Oh, that's just there. Nope, here's another one. Go check us out. Okay. No one went this way. Azure's. Oh, damn, they got pushed all the way back to their... That's rough. But thank you, Tinfoil, for answering that question. I honestly didn't know who he sold it to. I just know he wasn't really a part of the game anymore. $18. $19's got something. Azure is not allowed to come out this side, so they're being forced this way. We'll put them with Golden. And we're good. Already checked out. The one I was just in. 21. Yes, oh man, that's been my complaint about this for the entirety of its existence. The immigration event was a great idea to allow older players to go into newer regions to pick up heroes that they may have missed. His top commander being locked after you've left, it really was demoralizing for people who may have missed Thunder or Elena or top commander heroes that are really good to have. You could hop into another region, pick up Thunder, and stay, or move to a new one after you were done. However, allowing people to move from regions 1 through 10 all the way down into the 260s was absolutely the worst decision they could have made. Because there's nothing that the players in the 260s and the 270s can do to fight against these people who are so much better established, more troops, more research, all that stuff you get to keep when you move to another region. Yeah, you don't have your resources. Oh no, but how many resources do you need when you're running tier 5 and tier 6 against tier 3 troops? Like looking at Tom Hanks just right in the eyes, like, I am the captain now. Yeah, we know. You're the captain now. No one else can play in this region. They needed to limit that to about 50 regions in any direction. I think 50 is a fair number because 1 through 50 has fairly even, well, sorry, 10 through 50 has a fairly even, what is the word I'm looking for? Better region development. And like then you can go 50 to 100, 100 to 150, so on and so forth. And there's not a lot of variation in the region's development between its non-spenders. But going too far down is just ridiculous. Okay, how could they even sell it? I mean, with how much stuff they have, from maxed out parts to heroes to armaments, I thought these accounts would be priceless. No, nothing is priceless. I would not be surprised if Envy sold that account for about 75 to 80% of the amount of money he put in it. That made it worth his while to sell the account, and gives him starting money to go put into a new game if he decides to go do that. But it's Envy; he's likely already playing something else. Plus, there's always going to be someone out there with money. When I first started in here, I was in Region 6. The amount of spenders in the game was so low that I was a massive contender in these region events and stuff like that. The first island that we were a part of, I was standing Garrison against RPG. Back in the day, RPG, when they were still up there with ANCS and a little bit under HNB and Boone. I loved being a part of that, and it was great. And then vendors from further on down started to migrate into new regions, and yeah. Anyways, let me click and talk at the same time. Jay, you are planning on joining us? Have you talked to Kev and Z about that process? They're more than happy to accept new people. I know we've got, yeah, we definitely have the space for it. We're happy to have players that are willing to fight the same way that we do. So as long as you talk to Kev or Z, and you can mention me that you've been in the stream, it seems like the people who come out of my streaming wanting to join tend to enjoy it here. Oh, god damn it. What do you got? No, come back. Come back. Come back. I just want to play. That's sad. No, play with me. Anyways. Quinn, I know you'll play. Oh, yeah, thanks for all. Once phase 2 starts, it's going to get very interesting. Because now that there's something to fight for in the center here, um, the same tactic that's used in Island Raid can be used here. Get there quickly, build around it, and set up defense. If you can do that, you have a chance of winning even against an alliance that's much stronger than you. We like to pride ourselves on being a fun alliance. When we want to play in an event, I haven't seen Jessica around. Oh, I was so sad that I haven't seen Jessica around because she was the first player to get over 1 billion in kills. I'm sitting here at 50 million and she has 1 billion kills. So I was sad to not be able to see her in HMB. I do not know what region she went to. I could probably check, honestly. Because she would be standing out like a sore thumb. But yeah, we have the base. If you want to come to our alliance, it doesn't. At this point, we've given up on caring if we get matched in G1 or G12, Dark Seal 30 or 2. If we're gonna play in an event, we're gonna play in an event, and we're gonna have fun doing it. All right, you're gonna have to wait that 2 minutes for me to get there. And there it is. There we go. Plus, we have Pompeii coming up soon, and I'm going to be excited to stream that again this time. I've missed I believe I've missed the last 2 Pompeiis. 300 in Region 300. You know what? Sorry, I'm going to go check on that. Oh. Not that one. So many. Oh, no. This is her. This is her. Without a doubt. There is no other player in the game, to my knowledge, that has over 1 billion kills. And you can see by the commander ID, that's her. I think I had, hold on, I can check on that. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna hop over to just chatting. So you all can chat for a second. Actually see. Search. Yeah, it is definitely her that they've moved. Hey Horace, I apologize for not being in Era of Conquest last couple of days. This is a pretty big event in Doomsday to be a part of, and this is still my primary game. I know Season 2 for Era of Conquest is supposed to be coming up soon, and I'm still trying to keep up with my assault team for the most part. But, yeah, there's too much going on in this one to be able to play the other one at the same time right now. I mean, I still have it. I would have it loaded right now. You're not playing anymore? Yeah, I was getting a little skeptical that they were adding in pay packs for some of the civilization medals. I was proud of a game that was trying to limit its pay to play options, but soon after the game launched, they started adding in packs that didn't need to be in there. So we'll see if things die down in that game as well. But I think I only spent like $30 in. I'm not out too much if they decide to get a little greedier. Anyways, I'm gonna check. I hate that I'm constantly just bouncing around to the same thing. Yeah, I know. But I guess I was just hopeful. The Rise of Kingdoms devs making Call of Dragons, that was, I, uh, if y'all haven't tried Call of Dragons, it's a fun game to try. The concept behind it is amazing. The map has different tiered terrain. It has flying ranged troops that actually make a difference in combat. And honestly, I loved the way that combat flowed, the way alliances worked in that game. It was wonderful. Biggest, honestly, one of the biggest pay to play um, versus free to play ratios in the game that I've seen. It's way too easy to get way too strong in that game, and it's extremely discouraging. There are some ways around it, having limited amounts of stamina for each hero, for example, allows you to kind of hammer down on the stronger members and keep them from using their best troops, but it's not enough. I played it for probably one whole season, not long after it came out. Oh no, I gotta say it now. Oh, I gotta stop doing it. One of these days, he's just bouncing around. Oh, that's not gonna work, is it? This. Hold on. Not Guido. Do you know of any fighting going on, Panda? G5's had a bit of action today, but I haven't been able to find too much else. I'm gonna start working from the bottom. No, no one's accomplishing anything there. This might have some. Oh, we just had, I don't know if you all have tried this before, Panda. We just had DHX launch a hive mind rally in our territory from across the map. So they had like, what, 2 million rider troops just pop up in our area. As soon as it got there, they canceled the rally and like 8 marches spread out in different directions. Yeah, it was crazy. They had Safe Me and eight like 6 or 7 other players with speed built teams just hitting gathering troops all over there. They had no intention of surviving it. They just wanted to disrupt shit. And it was honestly genius. Because there was no catching us. Oh, here. I have Safe Me's armaments. Look at this crap. Okay, I saw the red and I freaked out for a second. Let's see. We have 8.9. No travel speed there. No travel speed there. 0.9. About 12. No, sorry. 8.9. I'm just going to round it to 9. 13. 17.3. I guess 17.1. Yeah, an additional 17.1 travel speed. Just from his armaments. Oh, good lord. Could you imagine running tier 6 troops with all speed buffs just hitting people? And I don't know if you've seen a lot of these bottom ones here. He's got a couple of these. Like this one right here, kind of minor, hitting for like half a round's worth of damage when you take skill damage every 6 seconds. The 20% for 40 additional rage is kind of nice, but every 15 seconds reduces the defense and move speed of nearby enemies, which I don't even know how many, by 25%. Ugh. No, everyone still hates farm killers. This has been one game that never really hates on them in the same way. Rise of Kingdoms, killing farms was such a taboo for some regions that I've watched players get burned for it. Like the member will get kicked out, rallied, and burned out of the region for killing farms during an event. It with just those armaments, right? I do wonder what players like Envy, Hans, Jessica have in their armaments that they've just been sitting on. And mm, need to sit down and get those. Yeah, yeah. Armaments are just a part of the game. And actually, there's no way I can really count that as it is there. Here we go. Half 750. Full red is 750,000. 800. Good lord. 1.8. 3.1. 3.7. 3.8. 4.4. That's 4.6 million might in a single set of armaments. Something that will summarize a report, like for example, you can see all the swarm deaths or kills on a tower on both sides on a. That would be wonderful. ROK, I think, implemented something like that later than I played. But yeah, that used to be a thing. The other thing that I really want is um, a way to friendly fight, or a way to have a friendly fight with some of the events in this game. Good lord, I'm drawing a blank. Like Water War or could you imagine just having an alliance limited bounty ground event? You just fight against people in your own alliance. It would have to be like a scheduled thing, but just having a way that you could limit a bounty ground lobby to just your own alliance or just your own region. Having Water War or Pompeii be limited to your own alliance or your own region if you set it up. Because that was something they did in Rise of Kingdoms. There, I can't remember what it was called there, but there, Pompeii, you could schedule a 30v30 match within your own alliance to kind of test everyone's ability to play, and you could kick the people out who don't know how to do it. The last time I played Rise of Kingdoms, Ark of Osiris, thank you. That is what it is. The last time I played Rise of Kingdoms was in 2154. That was the region at the time. And I played for about 6 months and never lost an Ark of Osiris. Could never get ranked though. But those guys had a system. Oh boy. They knew what they were doing. Oh. 5, 10. I played for like a week, then got zeroed and quit. Fuck these goddamn whales. Yeah, Rise of Kingdoms had some nasty whales in there. Nope, nothing going. Oh, they're building around. But they don't have the materials. They can't do anything. I'm going to check these last few regions that had some stuff going on, and then I think I'm going to hole up for the night. 31, nothing there. And 7. Yeah, Jade did get cut earlier. I did see the dead troops along the way. But there are a couple instances of that. Nothing there either. Really want out here. I'll check G2 just to see if Boone and H&B are doing anything. Oh, it 100% is. If you're faster than your opponent, especially if you're using a troop that isn't designed for speed, you're extremely destructive. Nothing catches a speed demon off guard more than a skill damage that can kill them in a single round. Or almost kill them. That's why I love my Robert Adut so much. Is if I can get off Robert and Adut's skill damage on a lot of enemies, that either comes really close to killing them or kills them. Then I just have to find a way to keep up with them long enough to finish the job, so to speak. So if I have the shoes, or if I have better armaments than them, whatever. Yeah. Tune built for speed, just matching your pace. There's nothing you can do. Might as well just roll over and let it happen. H&B isn't building that, but then again, it's probably costing a lot of resources at this point. But as Jomla, Sorry if I'm butchering that pronunciation. Travel speed isn't everything. You can work around it. You just have to change what items you pick up. For me, when I run my Robert Adut, I focus on getting an attack buff, a speed buff, and if I can find that damaging spider-looking thing, I love that. Because on an ally that actually deals a lot of skill damage, it hurts. And it can be really good for finishing off that player that's trying to run away. Got a really good range. Speed boots allow me to keep up, and of course the attack power, hitting that button right before your own skill damage, beautiful. So, don't think there's a lot going on right now. How to get Deuce? Lewis without daily boost. Is he available in a new region? Lewis? Lewis pops up in Top Commander in newer regions. Currently, we're looking at Carrie and Jacob because they're the technically newer heroes. But honestly, I hate how Top Commander's limited to only 2 heroes. They made it seem like it would be open to all 4 of the troop-specific ones. But Lewis should be available in newer region Top Commanders. It's just a matter of catching one that's range specific. And he would be the roulette hero. But for now, for us, he's daily booster in exchange. Which is... God, that sucks. Like, we can't get Maya again, but she thankfully pops up in box. Still haven't rectified how this is going to happen. At least Elena says she's in the Lucky Roulette, so that's still a possibility. And that means you're still in the Lucky Roulette. I keep forgetting you exist. New regions only getting infantry. I'm heard pretty sure that's a design too. I don't know. With the changes to Top Commander, it made things more confusing than they already were. And honestly, having the option to pick the hero that you get, for me, was just... While I understand why they did it, so that you would have more options for the hero you wanted to get, it causes the pay-to-play players who don't have a particular hero maxed out to jump in on Top Commanders that they wouldn't have before. Okay, I'm gonna march you back home. Not doing anything for me right now. I'm buffs. And you want to buff Jonathan? Remove this line. Remove the if target is rally squad, and you're golden. People would love to have an additional HP reduction on a player, on a rider commander that they can use. But as it stands right now, he belongs in the ground, like Panda says, along with the rest of the characters named John. Carry serves such a niche role that it's hard to find a place to use him unless you know for a fact that a Thunder is going to be on the Garrison constantly. As soon as it switches away from Thunder for whatever reason, Johnny Carey is absolutely useless. And if you still remember who this John is, you probably have been using him more than you should have. Like, there's literally a character called John Wick who's really good with guns, and they made him garbage. Yeah, that's the other thing about Carey. Yeah, people are, and you're right. Leave it at that. Just taking care of unwanted I guess in my area. Other than that, maybe swarms. Yeah, if you're swarming down a thunder, absolutely. Um, Having that carry to weaken the. Is it for what, 5 seconds? Yeah, 50% for 5 seconds. I mean, it's viable if you can keep consistent damage after the fact. A couple of HP reductions and stuff like that. But anyways, I've been on for about a little over 2.5 hours now, and there hasn't been a lot going on. I did catch some fighting in G5 today, so that was nice. We got to look at a Charlie Maxine counter rally. That was funny. And hopefully, when these level 6 checkpoints open up, we can get to watch a lot more action. So, for tomorrow, if you have any questions about the gameplay or need some advice on anything, please feel free to reach out to me on my Discord. I've got a couple of questions I need to answer tonight before I go to bed, so I will be taking care of those. To those of you that did message me already, I will get to them. If you want your region checked out, tomorrow when I start all this, when I go through all the regions people have asked me to, reach out. It is hard to see G1 and G2 at the same time. I know that. And part of me wants to have a game up on my phone, like start a new game on my phone so that I can watch the action in one and just hop back and forth as necessary on the stream. But if you want your region checked out, reach out to me on YouTube in the comments or on my Discord. I will go ahead and drop that to Discord in the chat. Yeah, honestly, Panda, if you're still streaming any of this, because lately you've been able to get on my streams more often, if there's a way we could stream 2 different games from yours and from mine and provide commentary, I think that would actually... Because it seems like you and I are going to end up in at least up high enough in the rankings that we can see all of these. And it seems like anytime you pop into my stream anyway, I can watch the viewer count jump. Like, people know you're here. But I think that's really all I'm going to be able to get out of the stream tonight. I will be trying to prep for stream tomorrow. I've got time off tomorrow. I learned all of what I know from scratch. I had Z reach out to me about some of the overlays that I'm currently using, but most of this is YouTube videos and trying to figure it out. But thank you all for joining me tonight. I'm going to hop off here. Again, This is Mr. Brain, your friendly neighborhood gaming dad, signing off.